got it. Come on.
This is my niece, Kamaya.
I was 16 when I found out I was pregnant with my first child. Having babies. I'm not gonna say it was a fad, but it was just a thing that we was doing as teenagers growing up. To me, my pregnancy was a positive thing to me. It just made me feel like that I had to grow up to be a role model for my daughter, you know, something positive. That's what I wanted to give her. And it made me go back to school because I didn't want her to be a statistic like I was. That's what I felt I was, a statistic. I didn't want that for neither one of my kids.
Historically, people thought that when a teen gets pregnant in our community, that's for that teen and her circle, maybe her family and some friends to deal with. But teen pregnancy impacts everyone. It impacts us as a community, as a city, as a region, as a state. Milwaukee, unfortunately, has had chronic teen birth rate statistics, and there are a lot of good people in this community who have been working on it for some 20 or 30 years, but unfortunately we haven't seen the drops that we had wanted.
You know, before the If Truth Be Told report, I don't think we realized how serious the teen pregnancy problem in this community really was. And by recognizing that at the time we were number 2 on the lists of cities in the United States with the highest incidence of births to teens, really helped bring home the fact that we had a serious problem on our hands and needed to do something about it.
The reality is this: many of the young women that we're talking about are already living below the poverty line. When they become parents at too young an age, it's very, very likely that that cycle of poverty is going to continue. One of our missions is to alleviate poverty. We can't do that if we don't focus very, very specifically and strategically on the issue of teen pregnancy.
Milwaukee is a city that's capable of anything, but sometimes doesn't believe in its own potential. So you've got to hang a big, huge target out there and say, go for it.
Our goal was to find something that was measurable and statistically significant over a span of a few years, and we decided 46% was the reduction. And we didn't get to that willy-nilly. We got to that because we said this would move Milwaukee out of the top 10. This would bring Milwaukee in line with other cities of similar size, and this would put us on the track to deal with teen pregnancy in a way that we could manage it.
He came back and said, the goal is 46% by 2015. And I said, Bevan, when I said a goal, I was thinking 5 or 7%, 46%. And sure enough, he proved that we could do it. He showed the steps to get there, and we've been making progress against that goal ever since.
All right, on the count of 3.
Wait.
2, 3.
We are Pearls Girls, and we want to be our best selves. All of the girls in this circle are my Pearl sisters. We are learning how each one of us are precious and unique.
What we're going to do now is we're going to have a kind of a discussion about teen pregnancy and just your ideas of it, what you've seen. And then if you feel like you have something you want to personally add to the question or your experience, just raise your hand and we can pass the pearls.
I know at least one young woman in my school who is now pregnant. Stand up if yes, stay seated if no.
We'll go with Deborah first.
My cousin on my dad's side, yeah, she's pregnant and like she feels bad about it.
Do you know how old she is?
She's 15.
15, okay.
Yeah.
She actually got raped by her mama boyfriend, but her mama didn't believe her, so she goes to this group home where like you gotta go to school, and like when you get 17 they'll help you find a place and stuff and get a job where you can support your baby.
Okay.
Healthy Girls is really a series of programs that United Way funds that recognizes the smart choices that girls can make about their own health.
Within the Healthy Girls strategy, we selected Making Proud Choices as our signature curriculum. This is an evidence-based program, and when we say evidence-based, that actually means something. This is a program that's been externally evaluated. It's been shown to be effective in other communities that are similar to Milwaukee, and so we've really put a lot of our emphasis on this particular curriculum.
One of our compass points is believing the sky is the limit, and what that means is whatever dreams you have or goals you have, we just want you to look as high as you can, and we want to help you in every way that you can to just reach out and grab that goal. And at the end of the day, you cannot do it with a baby.
Me being 20 years old and having a baby, I wasn't ready. You know, at 20, it really made a difference in my life. And there are some things that I didn't do as quickly as I could have had I not had a child at 20. So I can only imagine being 15, 16, or 17.
Sometimes that's why I enjoy the middle school, because they still are pretty innocent and think a lot of things are nasty, so it makes my life a little bit easier.
I love girls. It's like a way to express my feelings. What I'm learning is to be more respectful of yourself, because you are a woman and you just need to know your value and your worth. I agree with Lanella, because again, you're gonna make your own decisions and you just gonna have to face the consequences. So to every action there's a reaction and there's a consequence or a benefit to it. So it's just your decision. My mom, she said, even if you do think about it, please use a condom. She's like, even though you're too young, just please use a condom, because she don't want no more grandkids. Yeah. I don't want no kids.
Anything she want to know. I don't care how bad it might seem for a girl that age to ask you, because they're curious. They want to know. And if you're not going to tell them, they're going to find out some other way, which not going to be the right way. So if she asks me about sex, how, which way, I'm going to tell her. Anything the street's going to talk to her about, I talk to her about it already. And I tell her she's beautiful. I tell her she's cute, because I don't want her to think that she has to have a male to define who she is, to define her beauty. She is beautiful without anybody even telling her.
It's cute, but it's still doing something, especially for a prom.
Who you want to prom with?
This kid. Because we ain't want to go with nobody from school, because don't nobody like them people at school. No offense. We know that we don't want no kids. Because it's going to mess up our
I ain't want no kids, because the baby going to mess up your weekend. That's why you don't want none. Responsibility. That's what it was. Y'all didn't want no responsibility. Wow. Keep that thought. Keep that thought when them little boys be trying to talk to y'all when y'all get to high school.
I already got responsibility with mine.
But she's not your work. You always get that back. I told any question they asked, I don't care what age they was, I was answering truthfully and honestly and real. My mom never shared anything like that to me. My mom never talked to me about nothing like that. I found out other ways, and I wasn't gonna have that with my girls.
Abstinence is an effective way to reduce teen pregnancy. Stand up if you agree. Sit down. What if you disagree? When you don't have sex. Yeah.
If you don't have sex, you don't have to worry about getting pregnant. Or you don't have to worry about getting any type of disease or any type of infection or whatever. Like, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Abstinence is a good thing. We wish that young people would wait to have sex till they were socially, financially, and emotionally ready to do so. However, what we know is that's not the case for many teens.
There's always a pressure that men place on teen girls. Pressure to have sex, pressure to be a girlfriend, pressure to behave the way their boyfriend wants them to, and our teen girls aren't always up to refuting that pressure.
For me, it's the self-esteem. It's reaching out to, do I care enough about myself to make better decisions? You know, am I going to put myself first over, you know, impressing someone else or giving in because somebody wants me to have sex with them? So no matter what, you have to protect yourself, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that we're seeing now is teen pregnancy has almost become popular in our media, I mean, we have 16 and pregnant and teen mom, and there just seems to be some kind of fantasy in that we're really having to debunk. And we can see it as programming where the girls may see, I wonder what it's like for them to have cameras follow them around, and how could I, would that happen to me? Could I be famous?
I think the problem in the past, why the problem grew, is there just was no counter position out there. Nobody was putting a message out there about how difficult and negative teen pregnancy was. We promoted an entire movie, and kids all over the city flocked to the website.
Colleen, I don't know how to tell you this, but this is very serious.
Our job was to make the issue of teen pregnancy impossible to ignore. That's why we actually, when we actually started the campaign, we launched what is now the famous Pregnant Boy campaign. The whole idea was to make people uncomfortable with their inaction on this issue.
The Pregnant Boy campaign was a turning point for this community. Yes, it was avant-garde. Yes, we got some naysayers, and the bloggers went wild, but we knew then that we had gotten this community's attention.
All of our messaging is really focused on one thing: educating teens about how difficult teen pregnancy is, how it affects their lives today. Not in the way in the future, something I can't see way out here, but how it makes my life harder today. And that could be as simple as showing you how many dirty diapers that you have to change. Kids would go, we have kids on video walking up to this thing, and they're like, really? They're scratching it? And then when you get up close, you realize it's not a scratch and sniff diaper. It's not real. But a message inside says, okay, this doesn't really stink, but the consequences of teen pregnancy sure do. One of our first campaigns that we did, we put up graffiti-like messages all around town that say, "For a good time, call." We had them on bus shelters, billboards, bus sides, and 14,000 kids called that number in 2 months. And when they did, they heard a young girl with a screaming baby in the background that said, "So, you want a good time? I'll tell you what a good time is."
Getting up 3 times a night with a screaming kid, that's a good time.
When you get a group of 30 or 40 kids that are now 17, 18, and you show them posters and say, any of you seen this bus shelter? And like all their hands go, yeah, everybody's seen it. And you talk to them about what it means, and they're all like, oh, that was amazing. That was unforgettable. We all talked about that dirty diaper. We all talked about the pregnant boy. My friends all called that number for a good time.
The folks from Serve have been great because they really have tapped into our teen audience and get honest feedback from those teens the way we need it. And quite honestly, sometimes the creative has come back and we all scratch our heads. We don't quite understand why this is going to work. And Gary's very good at reminding us, remember, it's not targeted to you. It's targeted toward teenagers. And believe me, they're going to respond. And they do.
I'm so nervous.
I've had my shares of ups and downs, times when there was no one around. God came and spoke these words to me. Praise will confuse the enemy. Teens, believe it or not, we go through a lot, and it's kind of hard to express our feelings because some adults don't understand us.
You don't wag your finger at kids and say, you got to stop doing this. You got to be careful. You got to wear a condom. We don't do that. And I think that's, from the focus groups we've done with teens, that's what resonates with them.
What are your goals for yourselves? Yeah?
I want to become an anesthesiologist.
Although we see a lot of negative reports about youth, through the media, it's so awesome to see kids who care about their community, who want to make a difference, who want better futures, who are concerned about their GPAs. Pearls Girls rock.
I've been achieving that thing, so I think I'm going to achieve.
I feel I'm an example to my kids, and to be the opposite and something better.
regardless, we're going to use a condom, whether he likes it or not. We are.
We've been bringing that teen pregnancy rate down year by year by year.
I don't know of any issue outside of football that has galvanized a community the way that this has. And that is a good thing for Wisconsin.
I just can't thank the city of Milwaukee at every level, from the mayor's office on down, for their amazing support of this program.
We use many, many strategies with many, many audiences. It's an all-hands-on-deck approach, so we are coming at this issue from many, many angles, and I think that's the secret to our success.
United Way of Greater Milwaukee took the lion's share of the lead, and they should be given a lot of the credit for bringing us to the table.